the idea is to just be raw, to be real with you. Um, we're all human, and really the heart of our business has a human heart. It comes from actual things that have happened in life, and I'm gonna pour my heart and soul out to you. I'm not comfortable crying on camera, which is kind of why I was like joking everything back. But at the same time, I don't really want to hide it either, because that means that you're not healing when you hide it. Like I'm in the middle of it, y'all. I'm in the middle of it, and just knowing that regardless of what my beliefs are, what my practices are, um, you know, whatever it is that I'm doing, that when I am truly in need of someone to talk to, I am truly in need of just love, compassion, even just a friendship or someone to fall back on. That no matter how alone I feel in this world, which I often do, I'm never alone, and I do have a community behind me. I have my neighbors behind me that have stepped in and saved my butt many times before, even though I'm not active. Even though, yes, they do it through church form, because church is actually a good thing, okay? It has its good parts. It brings community together. But just knowing that you have people that you can fall back on that will just listen to you or just give it to you straight, because like they just don't sugarcoat it. They just tell it the way it is. It's emotional. It's emotional. And I'll tell you what, I have not cried so much as I have the past 2 weeks and years. And a lot of that's been extremely grateful. Like, I'm actually really like struggling to keep the tears back, because it's been a challenge lately, guys. And and I don't say that to go like boo hoo, poor me, or anything like that. Like, I'm just going through it. And part of the reason why I'm doing this series, doing this podcast, or this like healing journey, come join me, whatever thing this is, like, I really got to figure out what this is. But um, is actually sharing this with you, like opening up and just being a real, honest, raw human being, which is what I encourage you to do all the time through everything else that I do in my own personal life and I do through my business. It's through this healing journey that created this business, this hope and this dream that we could raise our own children, that we could, actually be able to take time off and to heal when we needed to heal, instead of having to get right back up and turn straight back to work because we had to keep the bills paid, because it was expected of us, because we were going to lose our job if we weren't there, and like the very following day after a major accident or an event had happened, or not being able to take time off to be with our family. And just all the things, guys. Um, but I want to open up to you, because I know how difficult it is. I know how challenging it can be. And I've learned a lot of things on the way, and I'm still learning. And there's a lot of the lessons I've learned that I actually need to tweak a little bit. And as I learn that I need to tweak them a little bit, I'm going to share it with you, okay? I just really feel like I need to do this. And sometimes you have to trust your gut. You have to trust that intuition. You have to trust those things that just keep coming up. Look for the signs, yeah? Look for the. All right. Have you ever had those moments when people just don't understand you and you feel like you're alone and all the things are going on? Have you ever had those moments? I have. I have. So I would like to welcome you along to this new series, playlist, podcast, healing journey. I don't know what to call this actually. So I've been really called to put this together and just start sharing it. So that's what I'm gonna do. So um okay, the plan is this is gonna be episode 1. I actually have quite a few of these recorded, but I didn't actually have episode 1 recorded. All right. So anywho, I had this all worked out on how I was gonna do this, and now I'm like, how did I say that? What was I saying? Because I was, you ever, when you, like you're prepping for like that big conversation or that job interview, like you're talking to yourself in, like in the mirror and you're just like, yeah, like we can go do this, we can go do that, I can do this, or, you know, or, whatever the situation is for you. I do that before I start recording, and every time I do, I kind of beat myself up because I didn't just turn the camera on right then, right there. Like, there are sometimes, like, I actually wish I just had, like, a camera following me, like, all the time, because it's when I'm not on camera that, like, the most amazing stuff, like, comes from my mouth. And then as soon as I'm like, I need to record this, and I go get, my camera or my phone, whatever it is, and I hit record, and then I just go, okay, we're gonna get really serious and we're just gonna talk about the real crap in life, okay? Because this is real and you deserve to feel better. Alright, so, sorry, I'm like kicking stuff around here, out here. I'm a little hoarse, guys. I don't know why I wasn't just a little bit ago. I think I'm just like extra thirsty. So basically, I'm welcoming you along on the journey as I go through my own healing. And this pertains to a lot of the questions that I've been asked over the years on multiple different platforms and the people that come up and interact with me in person. So, we're going to talk about everything, y'all. Okay? So, this is the sky's the limit. There's nothing we can't talk about in here. And a lot of that is because everything that affects us in life literally, it's like the domino effect. Like everything is connected, and sometimes it's the most bizarre things that are connected that actually affect us the most deeply and like leave us scarred or leave us motivated to make changes in the world. They're the things that like really, really get us. So I'm going to start this off, this particular episode, which I actually have planned as the first episode for this new playlist, new series, podcast, healing journey, whatever this is, um, on actually some really controversial issues and things that have a tendency to create debate, but there are things that are brought to me all the time. They are conversations that I have all the time. They are just all the things. So let me grab some water. Now, for the most part, I don't have a set time frame I'm going to be doing on these. I don't have any set, like, subjects I'm going to be talking about. It's literally what I'm going through in the moment. And I'll tell you what, like, the past 3 years, I started down a healing journey about 3 years ago. Again, it's not the first time I've done this, but this is a new field that I'm going into. Like healing wise, I've been working on like my mental health and like my spiritual health, my emotional health. Whereas in the past, it was all my physical health, like nutritional wise and all those things. So do not be surprised if I start going into psychology and like actual like health issues that I truly feel are wrong. I do feel that they're wrong and I see the wrongs in them. And I use like I am sharing my opinion, but they're opinions that are based on actual research, things that I have, actually studied. So it's not just my opinion, it's more than that, okay? It's more than that. But I don't want you to base anything off of my opinion or what I've learned. I want you to take the nuggets of truth that resonate with you and reapply them to your life, okay? So, before I lose my voice, how about I take a drink of water? All right. So, um, we're going to talk about all these things. As I was saying, there's no actual set time frame or anything I'm putting on these videos. It's just however long it takes, okay? So these might be 5 minutes little segments. They might be an hour long like conversation of, oh, get your stuff together. So they are things that I'm going through in the moment that I'm talking about. And a lot of them are past triggers that I thought I had healed from and come to realize I hadn't. So if you don't know what a trigger is a trauma trigger. It is when something gives you like those flashbacks and takes you back to those moments when you were enduring trauma in your life. Those are trauma triggers. And when we are triggered, we have trauma responses. Okay. And I've been deep in my shadow work, and that's actually why we're talking about this right here, right now. First off, let's clear up some confusion. What is shadow work? Okay. Shadow work is not devil worship. Okay. I want to make that like straight up clear. It has nothing to do with religion. Okay. There's nothing to do with religion in shadow work. Okay. Shadow work is, I don't recall the actual how long it's been around. It's been around for about 100 years, like actually used in the scientific field of health and studying people. Okay, like mental health and spiritual health. Shadow help. Shadow help. All right. Shadow work is actually when you are actively diving back in to your traumas and deciphering what your trauma triggers are, your trauma symptoms are. Like, it's the particular feelings that you get, the particular reactions that you get when certain situations come up, and like you link all of those together and you go, okay, I had that same response here, I had that same response here, I had that same response here, I had that same response here. Like when that kid back in school started laughing at me in front of everybody, or mom and dad yelled at me, or you know uh when I got in this, situation where suddenly I didn't realize I was going to be in a fight, and it all of a sudden was going to turn into a fight, and I like freaked and freezed or whatever happened. Like I say but I'm actually just using this as an example. So, and I've had situations like that. But the way we respond to those ties back to an actual trauma that has happened in our lives that we haven't healed from. Shadow work is something that is often even used alongside with therapy. Therapists will often refer you or suggest that you start doing shadow work, start keeping a shadow journal, and writing down those old memories so that you can actually heal from them and move on from them so they're no longer holding you back in place. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with shadow work or with like with devil worshiping. Now, in the spiritual world, it's called shadow work because spiritual seers and fire advisors, my words are not working. Bear with me. It's been an ongoing problem lately. Um Anywho, I feel like I'm yelling at you because my voice is like all hoarse and like traffic is like going all over the highway out here. Anywho, uh, so it is. I done forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, y'all, I'm doing minimal editing on these videos, so if I done forget, I done forget. Um, give me a second. Give me a second. It'll come back. Spiritual people, meaning those that are seers, that they do divination and just all of the things. When they are working with somebody, whether they're just reading tarot cards or whatever, um, when you have trauma from your past that has been unresolved, unhealed, you have not actually dealt with it, or you haven't dealt with it completely, you haven't released that negative energy, the negative uh, residue. Please don't find that, Bob. My little wild kitten out here is trying to climb my stand. Seers actually see a dark entity like jump into you. Okay, it's like a shadow figure, but it's not. Sometimes it is an actual entity, but other times it is so like another entity, so like a form of possession. Okay, but most of the time it's just unhealed, unresolved trauma. Simple as that. Um, that doesn't mean it's simple to go through the work. Anywho, I'm rambling on about this a lot longer than I planned on. Uh, but it does not make you a devil worshiper. Therapists use it all the time as an additional aid to help trauma victims work through their trauma. Okay? Now, not all therapists use it, okay? But more often than not, the therapists that do suggest that their clients start using shadow work have actually gone through it themselves and have healed their spiritual trauma and the negative entities or the negative emotions and residues that were left over from those traumatic events in their life. But one of the things about going down a healing journey, help, bleh, but I digress. A healing journey is once you start, you never really stop. Okay. So the first time I went down a healing journey, it was all physical. It was all about nutrition. It was about getting my physical body back up to a healthy level. And it was traumatic. I'm not going to lie. It was traumatic. So here's the kicker. What you may or may not know about doing a self-healing journey that is just very difficult to say right now, is that when you have reached that bottom of the barrel and you finally just get up swinging and you're just like, I'm done. I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. I refuse to take this anymore. And you start fighting back and you start addressing the actual problems and healing yourself and actively taking steps to become better. That's when like the whole can of like worms gets open and it's like multiple cans. Like, oh, here's a can of worms, here's a can of worms, here's a can of worms. Oh, thank you, universe. Thank you, whatever you believe in. Not that I didn't have enough problems already. So when you start down a healing journey, that's when you get to see the true color of people. That's when you get to really realize the unseen problems in your life and the things that are affecting them and causing more chaos in your life, because as you change your own personal vibration, so like a spiritual world, we go by your personal vibration. In other ways it'd be like your personality changes, like your mood changes. Like before, you were like the punching bag, essentially, in many cases. You were like the punching bag, or maybe you were the punchy, whichever, however you react from your trauma, is completely normal. It's okay to feel and react the way that you feel and you react because you haven't healed from the crap that happened in your life. And guess what? We all have trauma. We all have trauma that is unresolved in our lives, okay? So so you finally stop being that person and you actually change. This can happen so much that it actually changes your physical appearance. It changes everything about you. But just because you decided to heal yourself, to change yourself, does not mean that the people in your life decided to do that too. And often they feel like they've been abandoned, or you're trying to push this new whatever view on them or make them change too. which in truth, if you have this happening in your own life, or you know people that this is happening to, we don't actually want you to come do it with us. We just want you to support us. We just want you to be happy for us. We just want you to every now and then give us a golf clap. Go, girl, go. Good, good, good. Let's do that. All right. All right. I had to take a little break and I don't know where I was at. So, what you may or may not know about me, I'm guessing you actually all probably don't know this about me, but I can't record when my family is around. My husband is like walking by, like looking at me, like, "What the hell are you doing?" Um, I have a lot of trauma that I'm dealing with, y'all. And I just realized I kind of went off the deep end on all the other stuff and completely missed the whole point of why I was doing this particular episode. And I never introduced myself. So anyway, the sun's starting to go down, so since I hit paused, I went and got my sweater anyway. So it's starting to get chilly. We were like 90 degrees like 10 minutes ago. So I was hanging out in the shade. Now the sun's going down and temperature's dropping rapidly. Welcome to the Rocky Mountains, okay? So, anywho, first off, introductions. My name is Crystal. I am the co-owner of Milled Artistry. And this new particular segment, playlist, whatever we're going to call it, help me out. Jump down in the comments. Tell me, like, give me some suggestions, because I'm actually really horrible with names. Like, they're either a paragraph long or they're don't even represent what I'm talking about. So, seriously, I'd love a little bit of help. What should I call this, like, new series thing? Podcast, whatever. No, I'm like all nervous. I'm all nervous. I'm all nervous. It's funny, like, people don't realize that about me. Anywho, so I am your resident home baker, teacher, mindset coach, jewelry designer, and maker, woodworker, rock worker, pretty much everything, okay? I am co-owner and the chief creative director and designer here at Milled Artistry. Basically, if it has anything to do with Milled Artistry, it's me. It's me. And essentially, this series is supposed to be about my healing journey and just sharing my lessons that I've learned. Like, I'm still going through the things that I'm talking about with you guys. Like, I'm still in it. Now, I've got to a point where I'm able to talk about it. I'm not going to get on camera. I'm not comfortable doing that. Getting on camera and, like, just, like, bawling and, like, pouring my heart out to you, but I do want to connect to you on a real personal level. And as I said in the very beginning of all this, I've been feeling more and more called towards doing this. In fact, most of the time when I kick my camera on, even if it's not what I had planned on talking about, I have a tendency to do this. So depending on what social media channels you've been watching me on in the past, you've already seen that. Okay. So I'm sharing what I've noticed. I'm sharing what I've learned from my own personal experiences, and I'm still going through them, which means what I've learned is going to change as I'm going through it. But it's the realizations, it's like those aha moments of, hey, guess what? This is actually happened your entire life. Why, you've always felt this way. Such as, like, becoming extremely uncomfortable anytime someone walks into the room or wherever I happen to be when I'm recording, and I have to go, hi, what you doing? Shoo, go away. I can't speak while you're there. Why are you staring at me? Like, it's funny. Like, people that actually know me, like in person, know me, they truly have the hardest time believing that I'm one of the shyest people in the world that they'll ever meet. And that I'm extremely self-conscious. I'm extremely hard on myself. I hold myself to a very high standard that is actually impossible to reach. So this is not actually about religion, and I keep saying that, and there's a reason for that. So this whole conversation starts with a drop my phone. It started with a text message that I got, and this is something that comes up over and over again in my life. So I come from a very religious background. Okay, I'm gonna pick that up. Pick my phone back up. I come from a very religious background, and here's the funny kicker for you. Did you know my entire family has religious trauma? My entire family. My entire family. Okay, everybody I've ever gone to school with, everybody I've ever grown up with, has dealt with religious trauma growing up the way we've grown up here. No, I'm not saying that religion is bad. Bear with me, words are not coming out correctly. It's been a common theme of me over the last several months now. So, but we're just gonna move on and we're just gonna keep piling through it, okay? So, trauma. It's a real thing, y'all. It's a real thing. And I want you to know that if you're going through it, regardless of what your trauma is, you're not alone. And let me explain something before I dive into the actual conversation I was planning on having when I started recording. Is that trauma, like your physical body, your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, like all levels of your health. Okay, they are all different levels of your health, regardless of what you believe in, whether you believe in, or, the Big Bang Theory, like science and math, or like one God above all, that rules all, or the old gods, or the Greek gods, or Celtic gods, or whatever, or you just believe in the power of the universe. If you believe a person has a soul or they don't have a soul. Completely irrelevant. You have all those levels of health, and you have to address them, okay? Which is where I currently am. I'm dealing with my religious trauma that I've experienced my entire life. But not just religious trauma, but also the trauma, the brainwashing, the conditioning that has happened over my entire life, okay? Now, trauma, hopefully you can hear me over all the traffic because it's getting kind of noisy right now. Trauma does not know levels, okay? So it doesn't matter if it was that kid laughing at you in front of the school when you were a little kid, or someone just happened to call you out above everybody else and like contradicts you or make you feel bad, whatever. You had that bully or just that one event that happened in your life, or if you're dodging bullets, literally, like physically dodging bullets. There's bombs and explosions, and there's an actual war ground, that battlefield that you're in the middle of. Trauma is trauma. Your body does not distinguish a level on it, okay? So stop beating yourself up. If you do this, and I can almost say with certainty, we all do this. Stop beating yourself up and comparing your trauma to other people, going, well, mine's not that significant. Trauma is trauma, and it affects you deeply, and you got to heal that crap, okay? you have to heal that crap. You have to deal with it, and you can't just ignore it, because it's going to keep coming back up in your life, and then it causes trauma triggers and trauma symptoms. And when you get triggered, you're going to respond in unhealthy ways because you have not healed from the wound inside your mind, inside your heart, inside your spirit, okay? Or your spiritual, like, being. That, when I'm talking about spiritualism, it's so often misinterpreted as I'm talking about religion, okay? I keep saying this is not about religion, and I'm serious about it, okay? Spiritualism and religion, yes, are very much alike. They all tie along the same lines. They follow many of the exact same beliefs. All of that, okay? But they're not the exact same thing, okay? They're different. Spiritualism is generally a path that you take on your own. There are multiple people, but it's something you do on your own, okay? You don't have like a big organization that you go to. Yeah, maybe you might have some special groups that you get together and you like talk about, and you have different like sessions that you do together. But for the most part, there's not a ton of like one-on-one communities. Now that also varies to like where you live, okay? So like where I live, the acceptance of spiritualism is still seen as taboo. It's still seen as devil worshiping. It's still seen as all these things, and people are ridiculed for it in a bad way. Things have gotten a lot better. Okay, a lot better since I was a kid. But I've seen a lot of stuff happen because people were not of the exact same religion. The I done forgot the word. I tell you, words are not forming. Words will not word. uh, Anyhow, let's just move on from it. Um, like I've seen a lot of the stuff that happened just because people were not of the same religion as the majority of the people that live here. And our main religion has shaped and formed our particular area dramatically, okay? And the thing that gets me the most with religion is, now I want to point out that there is good and bad in all things, okay? There is good in religion, and I don't care what religion you're in. Religion has its good parts. That's why people are drawn to it, because it inspires hope and dreams and makes you want to become a better person. It helps give you that hope that you're going to see people again, that there is hope for you, that you can be forgiven for the sins that you caused during this lifetime, that your karmic, that you can, start to change your karma for this life or future lives, depending on what your beliefs are, okay? um, so there's a lot of good that comes from religion. It gives you a community. Um, it gives you help when you're in need, and it gives you hope, and it inspires you to become bigger and better things and amazing things and all that. But on the flip side, religion can also be the devil's playground. So if you are a religious person, you believe in the devil. And I'm not saying one way or the other on my own personal end. It's completely different. Um, that came out wrong, but we're just going to leave it like that. Just move on. Um, Anywho, it's when it's taken to the extreme. It's the brainwashing. It's you know, the dictator rulership of you must obey, you must follow in faith, don't ask questions. It's all of these things, and the instant judgment. Like if you are not constantly at church, if you are not constantly spreading the word, then you're not worthy. You're a hypocrite, you're all of these things. But the thing is the people that are blaming you for not being active in church, or you're not doing these things, you're not showing up to every activity, you're not like actively promoting your religion to any and every single buddy and making sure that they're standing in line and doing exactly what they've been told to do and constantly studying the scriptures and everything else, then you are not good enough. You're not trying hard enough. It's all of these things, and this is traumatic, okay? And when you grow up on the outside, now my family is extremely religious, okay? Very, very, very religious. And I don't blame them for that, okay? I know why they have religion in their life, and I understand them, and I forgive them for any transgressions that they knowingly or unknowingly caused, as well as forgive the people from my own community that have caused trauma and true heartache and pain and, like, for the lack of another word, suffering in my life and those around me and those that I've known, knowingly or unknowingly, because they were actually doing what they were told. Because that is the negative side of religion, okay? Now that is where this comes in. That's where this message comes in. So I don't care about, like, I don't care what a person's religion is. I don't care what their beliefs are. If it is something that inspires hope in them, gives them courage, and makes them feel loved, and gives them peace in their heart, and is something they are passionate about, I am going to support them. No matter what, I'm always going to be there to support them. Because at the end of the day, those situations are not about me and how I feel about their beliefs, the teachings, or any of it. Yes, I was raised in it, but I was raised in it as an outsider inside my own church. And when I went to school, I was once again an outsider. Now, there's a lot that goes into that. I'm not going to go into all the details. There's a lot of trauma that actually happened to my actual family because of religion, okay? And I don't know my family actually knows this, okay? So this is like, I'm treading careful on this, okay? Because I don't want to disrespect or cause problems for them or, trigger them or anything like that. I'm not about causing pain. Okay, I'm actually about bringing light and balance into people's lives. That's what I do. That's who I am. I always have been. I'm a healer. I'm a helper. I'm that friend that, listens. Like that truly listens and understands and sees people for their truth. Regardless of the persona or the face that they put on for other people, I see them for their truth, which for some people scares the crap out of them. But it's truth is not scary. Like, it can be a hard pill to swallow, but truth is the key to your freedom. And I've said this many, many times before, and I will continue to say it. Truth, no matter how hard it is to swallow, no matter how hard it is to face, is your key to freedom, to success, to peace and love and prosperity, and your dreams coming true. And going after the right dream too. Like, sometimes we go after a dream and then we get into it and we go, holy crap, this is not what I wanted. Oh no, 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 no. This is not what I wanted at all. I'm like shivering here, guys. Yeah, it's starting to get cold. It's actually not that cold. It's just the dramatic temperature change. Anyhow, moving on. So I want to address something that I hear all the time that deals with this text message and this conversation that I've been leading up into. So, okay, so I'm not an active member of our church anymore. And that is because I did grow up on the outside and I seen the atrocities that happened because of it. Straight up, as simple as that. I seen the atrocities that happened to any and everyone else that was not of the faith, or they were not born into the faith, or they had been deemed by one person within the religious circles that they were not worthy, or like somehow they were somehow doing the devil's work, even though they were just genuine good people. So my family moved to a new area in the valley, same place, when I was 3 months old, okay? So a lot of the trauma I have to deal with actually stems from before I was even born, that has like plagued my family, unfortunately, which I just recently learned about. Anywho, so we grew up in a particular area where I went to church every Sunday like a good little girl. We went to all the activities, we read scriptures, we had family night, my parents are very, very active in the church. They fully believe in it. Like, it is their calling, their love, their passion. I support and love them, okay? Does not mean I have to have the exact same beliefs or see it the same way they do. We're just going to leave it at that. So we went to this church over here, but the thing is the school district lines were not the same where our physical address was versus everybody else that went to our church, okay? There was a very small section that went to the main town in our valley. We went to school in the main town. but yet nobody at school knew us from church because we didn't go to the main town church. We went to this church district over here. All the same church, but just, different wards, different sections, just varied by where you lived. Okay, so all the kids that we went to school with all went to school in Lower Valley. We went to school in Upper Valley. So nobody knew us. So we were instantly like bad people. Like bad people when we went to school. Because we were not of the faith, even though we, were good little church kids and all the things. We weren't of the faith because we didn't go to their church. They didn't know who the hell we were. So I grew up as an outsider. So I was an outsider in my own church because I didn't go to school with anybody in my church, in my ward anyway, and in my district. And I was an outsider at school because I didn't go to church at the same ward district as everybody in school went to. Fun, huh? So there was a lot of religious trauma, but it allowed me to open my eyes. And I was actually genuinely called to people that were from outside the faith or that were newcomers coming into the valley, because I didn't judge them because they didn't go to my church. And I didn't judge them because they were not in my school before that. I didn't know them before. Simple as that. It's just that simple. Cut, clear, dry. Okay? It's religious, but it's also social and just brainwashing, essentially. So I love and I support my family. And very much so. Regardless of what their beliefs are or anything like that. And anywho, I want to read you this text because I am one of these people that will always show up for my family, even if it's a religious event. I don't care if it's a religious event or if it's a job promotion or they just graduated from school. It's all the same thing. It's something that they have accomplished. It is something that they are proud of. It is something they want to celebrate. And I am proud of them for that. I don't have to share the same beliefs. It has nothing to do with me, with my beliefs, with their beliefs. It has nothing to do with showing up and supporting your family, your loved ones, based on what the actual function is. And I hear this all the time, because I'm always there. It's one of the things I can do for my family to show them that I love them and I support them and that I want the absolute best for them no matter what goes on. I do apologize if this is coming off angry. I'm not actually angry. So just like, let me pull this up. Hang on. All right, and get a drink. So we have a baptism coming up. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And like, are you coming? Are you coming? I'm like, well, of course I'm coming. I always come. We always do. We're always going to show up and support, especially me. Like, I'm always going to be there no matter what, okay? Like, in like a few cases, I haven't been able to because, I couldn't get off work, things like that. But I'm like, yes, I will be there. Like, I'm already taking care of this and that. And I always get pulled off to the side and I get thanked by my family and by like my friends, things like that, because I showed up and I supported them at like a spiritual event, a religious event, I should say, even though I don't actively practice that particular faith or belief, whatever it is. And they're just like, I love you so much and thank you so much for showing up and for supporting me. It means so much to me. And I know that you're not of this belief, but having you here just means the world to me. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm converting over to that belief, whatever that belief might be. It might be just showing up because they got a job promotion and they want to celebrate, okay? It doesn't matter what it is. This particular one is a religious one, okay? But anyway, I hear that a lot. So I want to talk to you about that for just a second. I'm going to read you the actual text I sent back to my sister. And yes, I have permission to do this. And in fact, she's like, Crystal, that's beautiful. Let me share this. Can I share this, please? I'm like, yes. I'm like, go for it. So I actually come up with the best stuff when I'm not on camera, guys. Okay. So, okay, so I'm going to read a little bit of what she said to me and then just paraphrased, and then I'm going to read my response back. Okay. I really love and honor you for always showing up for the things like this. It's a really good example for the family that you can find common ground, even if you don't totally agree with what they believe. It's a good lesson in acceptance and tolerance. I've learned so much from you, sis. Love you. Okay, so my sister is like, she's the most like motivational, poetic like person I know. I'm just gonna say that. Like, she has the best heart ever, and she is like truly a good person. Like, she practices what she preaches. She is genuinely a person that goes out and does everything she can to help anyone and everyone that she can. She's the one that shows up for everything. Everything. She's there for everything. I'm lucky if I can make it to an event here and there. But, anyway, this is my response back. I love you too. I will always be there when I'm able to. It's not about shared beliefs. That's like arguing politics. It's about love. When you love someone, you love and accept all of them, the good, the bad, the light, and the darkness equal. It's about showing up and supporting them in the things that are important to them. It has no importance what my views are because it's not about me. It's about what's important to them. Showing your support to someone is no different from this or that situation. Be it a promotion, an education, religious upleveling, or celebrating hitting a new health marker. Supporting those we love, regardless of occasions, simply to be there to support them when they need and want us there. That is why I do it, and what they have taught my family, and what I have taught my family. So even when we show up to an event, it's not us casting our beliefs aside nor converting. We are simply there to support you. And she's like, I love this. Let me share this with my family. And and she's awesome that way. Like, I actually got to bring her on and have like an actual conversation with her, and like, she's already agreed to it. We just got to actually set it up and do it. Like, she's my lifesaver. In fact, like, today she had me like just bawling because she stepped in and like saved my ass. um but like, I want to talk about that because like, it's such a common misunderstanding. Like, it's starting to get dark and I can see I'm getting fuzzy in the camera. I apologize. um it's such a common misunderstanding that when we have different backgrounds, whether it be color or race or whatever it is, we often start to see things that are not there. It's like arguing politics, okay? And there's no winning that conversation. Like, everyone is going to just end up being in this massive debate. Everybody is going to be fighting for their opinion. They stop listening to everybody else, and then they become super hyper focused, and everybody ends up pissed and, leaving the conversation like fuming. Okay? It's not even about setting your own beliefs aside. It's simply just being there because they need and want you there. And that's no different than me here with you. And like, honestly, if I've learned anything the last 2 weeks, because the last 2 weeks have been some of the most emotional roller coaster ride days that I can actually recall right now. Like, I'm in the middle of it, y'all. I'm in the middle of it. And just knowing that regardless of what my beliefs are, what my practices are, um, you know, whatever it is that I'm doing, that when I am truly in need of someone to talk to, I am truly in need of just love, compassion, even just a friendship or someone to fall back on. That no matter how alone I feel in this world, which I often do, I'm never alone, and I do have a community behind me. I have my neighbors behind me that have stepped in and saved my butt many times before, even though I'm not active. Even though, yes, they do it through church form, because church is actually a good thing, okay? It has its good parts. It brings community together. But just knowing that you have people that you can fall back on that will just listen to you or just give it to you straight, because like they just don't sugarcoat it. They just tell it the way it is. It's emotional. It's emotional. And I'll tell you what, I have not cried so much as I have the past 2 weeks and years. And a lot of that's been extremely grateful. Like, I'm actually really like struggling to keep the tears back because it's been a challenge lately, guys. And and I don't say that to go like boo hoo, poor me, or anything like that. Like, I'm just going through it. And part of the reason why I'm doing this series, doing this podcast, or this like healing journey, come join me, whatever thing this is, like, I really got to figure out what this is, but um, is actually sharing this with you, like opening up and just being a real, honest, raw human being, which is what I encourage you to do all the time through everything else that I do in my own personal life and I do through my business. It's through this healing journey that created this business, this hope and this dream that we could raise our own children, that we could, actually be able to take time off and to heal when we needed to heal instead of having to get right back up and turn straight back to work because we had to keep the bills paid, because it was expected of us, because we were going to lose our job if we weren't there, and like the very following day after a major accident or an event had happened, or not being able to take time off to be with our family. And just all the things, guys. Um, but I want to open up to you because I know how difficult it is. I know how challenging it can be. And I've learned a lot of things on the way, and I'm still learning. And there's a lot of the lessons I've learned that I've learned I actually need to tweak a little bit. And as I learn that I need to tweak them a little bit, I'm going to share it with you, okay? I just really feel like I need to do this. And sometimes you have to trust your gut. You have to trust that intuition. You have to trust those things that just keep coming up. Look for the signs, yeah? Look for the signs. Like, do you see them? Like, it's getting dark. My camera's like gonna be cussing me. No wonder. Woo, we have light. We'll turn the light on. Um, and so now there's a light on. You can see me. Now I'm like getting self-conscious again. I'm a person that hides, guys. I do. I hide my emotions because showing emotions get you hurt. It can get you hurt dramatically, very much so. And I've been there. I've been through so many different events, and I have a very unique eye, a way of seeing things that nobody, I'm not going to say nobody, but few others that I've ever personally known do. In fact, my ability to see people scares the crap out of them most of the time. like they love me. They love me, and like I can't tell you how many times I've like just reached out to a person and just said, "Hey, I'm thinking of you, and I hope everything is okay." And they'll come back and like I always say something like I just want you to know that you're really emotional, guys. I just want to let you know that you've been such an inspiration in my life. And like they'll get back with me and they're just like how did you know? I just did. I just did. You know, reached out to like like high school friends and I'm just like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that, I've been thinking of you. Like you just kind of keep popping up in my mind and like I just wanted to say that like you remember this one thing that happened? Well, that meant a lot to me." Anyway, it's stories like that actually started this business. The stories of our own things that we've overcome in our life started this business. Everyone casting judgment because we were not active in our faith, or the main faith of the valley, better yet said. But instead, we had been the recipients of the cruelty that came from the faith and it being used as at an extreme. There is good in all things, and there's bad in all things. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And it doesn't matter what you're talking about, whether you're talking about too much sugar or too much religion, or whether you are. I have a bug climbing up. Hang on, I gotta get rid of that stupid earring. He's like gonna cover my camera lens. um, too much sugar, it makes you sick. Continue to do it, it's gonna make you really sick. It's gonna give you a lot of health problems, and you all know that. Same thing. Like if you become too spiritual or too religious or too grounded or too much up in the universe, up in like your head's in the clouds because you're not grounded at all. Too much is a bad thing. But however, saying that, having a touch of being ungrounded or being too grounded is not a bad thing. It's when it's in excess, just like with depression. Like, I've dealt with depression my entire life. Most people don't know that. So, um, now depending on where you come across on this video, I actually released a video on some of my other social media platforms. I'm not entirely sure if I will be releasing it at the time of this recording on this platform to begin with, to kick this off with. But I may or I may not. It's yet to be seen. But the idea is to just be raw, to be real with you. We're all human, and really the heart of our business has a human heart. It comes from actual things that have happened in life, and I'm gonna pour my heart and soul out to you. I'm not comfortable crying on camera, which is kind of why I was like joking everything back. But at the same time, I don't really want to hide it either, because that means that you're not healing when you hide it. So I gotta end this because it's getting dark. I don't know if this will be my first episode or not, guys. Yeah, but anywho, most of the time I'm taking you for a walk out in the field, and I'm telling you about different experiences and things that just keep popping up. Some of them really kind of irritate me, but I will never record from a place of like anger or envy or anything like that. Sometimes I sound like it. Sometimes I do. And I even kind of look like it because I like always am creasing my forehead. Like when I'm like even when I'm thinking, like I'm creased. I'm like I've got that pissed off look on my face. The resting bitch face. I'm not mad. That's just how I look, guys. That's how I look. I can't help it. Okay, I can't help it. All right, like it's getting really dark. I gotta get my chores done. So, um, but I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. And if you have an idea of what this should be called, help help a gal out. I'd appreciate it. And you know, drop a comment down below on this video. And if you're interested in more of the things that I actually do, like business wise, yes, I'm releasing this through my business, but this is actually just the personal side of me and how it kind of has directed and created what is now Milk Artistry, our business, my baby. And everything I do in the business has actually come from the trauma in my life, the things that I've seen, the things I've experienced, the things I've seen friends, family, fellow community members, even complete strangers go through. Those moments in life when you see something happen and you don't say anything, but like everything inside of you just makes you want to go, hey, that's not right. But your own fears inside of you like hold you back. The brainwashing of society and conditioning that we've all been exposed to that says, hey, it's not your place to say anything. All those things that hold us back from like just standing up against tyranny, regardless of what that tyranny is, and just saying, hey, that's not right. You know, um, that 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 creates trauma, and it's not just the victim that has to deal with that trauma. But it's also the bystanders. It's also the people that wanted to say something, but they weren't brave enough. In that moment, they weren't strong enough. And, that's okay. It's okay because we're human. And in that moment, we were as strong as we were. And when those moments come up again, we will be as strong as we can be in that moment. We will be the best that we can in the face of that moment. And and that does not make us weaker. It does make us lesser. It doesn't make us less intelligent or less capable or less skilled. It makes us human. And it's about time that all of us, it's damn time that all of us start, standing up and saying, hey, that's not right. And encouraging each other instead of tearing each other down. It's been really, really emotional past 2 weeks, guys. This is not what I normally am like when I get on camera. But I tell you what, it's been a doozy. It's been a doozy, so bear with me. But it's all this crap that's happened in life and always being told that, hey, you can't do that. Well, why not? And I actually did an episode on that, so I'll dive into that, like how the business actually began and a lot of the smack that we got because of the way we did it, because we sold everything. We sold everything we owned. Well, almost everything. Sold it all off, paid off our debt, paid off our bills, and we quit our jobs. We left behind everybody we knew, all of our financial security, everything. We left everything behind. and we hit the road with our 3 young kids at the time. I now have 5. We've been back for several years now. And, it's like I'm shaking. It's like actually getting cold out here, guys. So part of like the shaky voice is I'm actually getting cold. But part of this is just because this is not a comfortable conversation for me to have. But I'm not unwilling to have it. Because if we don't have these conversations, then they'll never happen. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there because that's about as comfortable as I am going down that dive at the moment. And it's getting really dark. I got to end this. Obviously. I've already said that like 5 times now. But not to cut myself short. I'm not like cutting myself down. I'm just laughing. I think it's funny. Um, but we sold everything, and the whole time, like everyone we knew, like very, very few people supported us in it. Very few. Like I can count on one hand of the hundreds of people that I worked with on a constant basis, and whether like directly, like they were like coworkers or bosses, or if they were my customers or my family, my friends. They're like, you can't do that. You can't do that. And I'm like, why not? And it's funny, like I kind of turned into like a police detective. I'm like, as soon as you question them, they're like, well, they didn't have an answer. They didn't have an answer. And I know what that answer is now. And it's because I was challenging. Well, for one, I knew I was challenging to begin with. I have red dots on my eyes, don't I, guys, from the light? Well, I guess it's not so bad. When I get close enough to the camera, you can see me. Oh, hi, Bobby. You spooked me. My little wild kitty just like ran up here. Spooked me. He's like, where's my dinner? They recently lost their mama. So I've got these little kittens, and they've had a better time. Anywho, uh, but when you question a person as to why not, it triggers their traumas. It triggers defensive like systems essentially, and they're just like just because you can't do that. But the reality of it for many of those that said that we couldn't do it was, for one, yes, I was questioning, I was challenging society's ideas on what was right, what was not right, how I could raise my own children, how to be a family, how to be a mom, how to support my family, all the things. And likewise with my husband, okay? And hi, Bobby. But also, it's because a lot of them were from, a slightly older generation. And, I love and admire them, like, all in their own rights. And, hi, Bobby, you can knock me off balance. But, anyway, but their parents and them themselves had grown up in those situations when they were very young. And they had changed that. So instead of being like homeschooled, you went to public school. Instead of growing up in like a 1 room, like 10 by 10 cabin with like 12 children, you had like, like you only put the girls together in a room, the boys in their own room. Like everyone started getting their own separate rooms. You got health insurance, and you got that good steady job. You got that college education. You did all these things. And we were challenging that. We were challenging that and asking what was truly so bad about all of that life and the simplicity that went with it. Now, it doesn't mean that's easy, but there's this level of simplicity that goes with it. And owie! Hi, Bobby. You don't like it when I pick you up. Or I would pick you up. You like, oh, I go. Let's see if you're okay with this. Normally, you don't like it when I pick you up. But he likes being in my lap. Say, hi, my name is Bobby. I'm 3 months old. I was born on the front porch. You getting down? And I've recently decided that Crystal is like my new mom because my mommy got killed. So, anyhow, got so many cats, guys. Inside, outside. Got so many cats lately. Part of like the extreme emotional like crap that's been going on, and just personal stuff, and like stuff with my family too. Like we've had some major scares, as a parent. As a parent, you never want to get those phone calls. We got one of those phone calls this weekend, and I'll tell you what, like the other day, like I'm not ready to tell this story yet, but like actually what happened, I will tell you, but not yet. Um, but yeah, like I was like trying to get a doctor, so like almost impossible here. Like there's just not enough doctors for the amount of people. Um, and I needed to get my daughter like back into the doctor to be re-examined after this accident that had happened. And like it took like 2 days of like almost the entire medical staff um like searching through, like, I say the whole medical staff, it's not the whole medical staff, but it was like the nurses and like the office gals and all that, going through just trying to find a doctor for me. And they finally got me in, and like the nurse called, and she's like, yeah, we'll get her in, we'll see her at such and such time on such and such day. And I was like, oh my god, thank you. I'm not joking. When I hung up the phone, I started crying. It was just such a huge relief to just, I was so thankful. I was so relieved, and all the things. But anyway, I'll have to tell you about that later. Will you stop climbing my leg? That hurts. It hurts, but you don't like being held up this high. It scares you. It scares you. Um, but anyway, I want you guys to believe in yourself, because I'll tell you what, if I can believe in myself and I can overcome the shit that's happened in my life, and I can actually have confidence, and I can look in the mirror and actually love the person looking back at me, and I can believe in myself and my abilities, coming from being the invisible kid in the back of the classroom, and that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be the invisible kid that nobody knew existed, because I was terrified. If I can do it, you can too. And I know how cliche that sounds, and personally I hate hearing that from other creators, but I have to say it. And if you decide to continue to follow me along on this journey and hear what I have to say, hear my life lessons, and actually, have some hard talks, because I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm generally soft-hearted, and like I don't ever want to hurt anyone's feelings, but at the same time, I understand the importance of balance. Bobby, I understand the importance of balance. So the balance between the light and the darkness, and how sometimes we have too much light in our lives, and sometimes we have too much light in our lives, and we have to kind of start over again. We have to be kind of knocked down and you know brought back down to earth, essentially. Um, and I understand the importance of that. So I'm not going to sugarcoat things, and I'm just going to tell you straight up how things are being. And what I've learned, and my hope is that it will be inspiring and motivating to you to make the changes in your life that you need to change. I hope that you are able to gain a nugget of inspiration, a nugget of hope, encouragement, a level of confidence from the videos, regardless of what videos I'm putting out to you, whether it's, you know, a bread, it's like I'm baking in the kitchen, making some awesome homemade bread with my kids, or I'm by myself, or I'm, just up at the jewelry bench and I'm making some jewelry and I'm bringing you along for the journey. My hope is to inspire you to become your true you, because the true you is beautiful. And I see it. I see it. And I wish you could see it too. And by God, when the day comes that you can actually see how amazing you are in all of your beautiful rawness and your realness, between, what you deem of yourself to be ugly scars and everything else, the disformities, or, like, God forbid, look, I'm starting to get wrinkles. Wear them with pride because you earned them. That's what I want to say to you. Don't hide them. Don't hide the gray. Don't hide who you are, because you're freaking gorgeous. You're amazing. And there's no other person just like you. And that's true for all of us. The same things that I tell you all the time, I tell myself, because I had to heal too, and I'm still healing. And I'm going to have relapses. I'm going to have those moments when I find I'm re-triggered by something that I thought was long gone and in the past and dealt with, and come to find out it wasn't, because I had only partially healed from it, or mostly healed, but I hadn't healed all of it. I hadn't let go completely, and all the things. Okay, I'm going to stop. I gotta stop. It's cold. It's really dark. And I don't want to start crying again. So, I love you. And if you haven't heard it yet today, you are absolutely worth it. You're worth being happy. You're worth being healthy. You are worth being loved. And I truly believe that. So, now that I've just done this, I'm gonna go in with my family, finish taking care of all my night chores and animals and all the things. And I love you guys. Join me again next week. Okay? And stay tuned. And if you love this, but you don't want to join me in all the bread baking videos, or you don't want to join me in, like, the jewelry videos, remember, you can always just follow certain playlists. Okay, just in case. And I got to clean up a playlist out here on YouTube. But if you love all the things I do, by all means, please, please, please follow me. Please like this video and drop a comment down below. Like, let me know your name. Let me know where you're coming from. I'd love to get to know you. Yeah. So if you're interested in any of the stuff that I do, you can swing over to my shop, mildartistry.com. I'll have a link down below. Whew. Okay, now I gotta breathe. But anywho, you really are amazing, and I would love to get to know you. And I want you to know that I see every single one of you guys. There is never a comment that goes unnoticed. There's never, like, everything you guys do, it inspires me to keep going. And times are hard. And you guys are awesome. You're everything. And I hope to God, or the universe, whatever you believe in, that someday you will see that, if you can't already see it. I see it for its truth, the good and the bad inside of you, because it takes both to make you. And the real you is beautiful. Like, I can't see you, like, I'm staring, like, right into the light on the camera, so uh and honestly, it would be amazing to actually be there to see you when you actually see the real you for the real you. It would be extraordinary. And Until next time, y'all, I say adieu. I will have links down below. I'll write up a little blog that goes along with this. So if you want to continue this conversation, hit the link down below in the or in the description, or swing over to Milled Artistry, and I will have all the links and the blogs and the video and everything available over there for you guys too. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.